Over the last year and a half, I've been able to collect over $200,000 selling an online coaching program where pretty much all of my customers have came from cold traffic. And right now, more than ever, I see a lot of people struggling to actually take someone from a cold lead from a Facebook ad to a paid customer on some sort of high ticket coaching program, service, whatever it may be. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the three things that truly helped me be able to do this consistently and successfully, and things that I think will pretty much immediately boost your close rate, whether you're a closer, an offer owner, an operator working behind the scenes. You're gonna be able to use these three things and immediately be able to boost your close rate on cold traffic. So getting into it, the first thing, and this is probably widely known, you might already know this if you're watching this, is speed to lead. And what does that exactly mean? Speed to lead is when someone opts into a free training, a free course, they apply for the program or whatever it is that you're selling. It is how fast you actually get in touch with that person, whether it's an Instagram DM, a phone call, if you're collecting their number, a text. And before I dive into this too, let me make this clear. Whether you're working with a customer trying to buy a fitness program or learn how to day trade or learn how to resell, or a business owner that wants to learn how to run ads, like whatever it may be, whatever the person is opting into, you need to hit them fast. Ideally, it needs to be like under 5 minutes, because especially when you're working with B2C, these people have the shortest attention spans of all time. And they are opting into so many different trainings and free discords and applying to so many different things or booking so many calls that if you don't hit them up quickly, and let's say you wait a couple hours, they might completely forget and they might not answer, or they answer you and just be like, wrong number, even though they're actually the ones that did apply or opt in, right? So that is the number one thing, and that's the number one thing that's helped me get a pretty much what we do is they opt into a free Discord and they get a text right away. I've had a consistent over 50% reply rate with that. And that is pretty good on cold traffic. And a lot of those can turn into setting calls, which lead to sales calls, which lead to cash collected, right? So number one thing, if you're an offer owner reading this or someone that wants to get into like the closing space or setting, whatever it may be, speed to lead is going to be key. Whenever someone opts into your training or your Discord or applies for something from your ad, you need to hit them up immediately, whether it be a text, a DM, or a phone call. Number two, and this, if I had to pick one out of these three things that is most important, it would be this. And what I'm talking about is your pre-call process. This is the process that goes from the prospect booking a call or, actually you setting a sales call with them or whatever it may be, to the actual sales call, right? So let's say a prospect gets a call booked in on a Thursday and the call is for Saturday, right? So they have the rest of the day, Thursday, Friday, and then the rest of the time up to the Saturday call. That time, that 2-day period is the most important period of time to be able to turn that lead from someone who's pretty cold and doesn't really know too much about, the offer or what you do or have much trust in you, into a warm lead that trusts you, knows exactly what you do, and believes that you are the right person to help them with whatever it may be. So what my pre-call process looks like is the first thing that the prospect always gets is a good quality, valuable, and salesy video sales letter. What I mean by this is, for example, what we send on this offer is a 28-minute video. It provides them with a ton of free value. It then shifts into showing a lot of results of people that we've helped. And then lastly, it goes into what they need to be prepared for with the call. It goes over for them to show up with no distractions. It goes over that this is not cheap. Like it doesn't give away price, but it says like, you're going to have to make an investment. If you can't do that, or if you're going to waste our time, don't bother getting on the call. And if you need to reschedule, hit us up a day in advance. It pretty much just sets them perfectly to be ready for this call. Now, here's the thing. When you have a VSL like this, some of these people might watch it and get driven away, but that's okay. That's a prospect that you're probably not going to close, and it's just going to waste your time anyway. So after that VSL, you don't just want to send it and be like, watch this before the call, and then when you get on the call, everything's good. You want to send them that and be like, text me after you watch this. If by the end of the day you don't get a text, hit them up. Hey, did you watch that? What did you think of it? If they respond, they're like, yeah, like I liked it. You don't want to stop there. What you want to do from there is if you have student interviews, if you have call recordings from inside of your program, if you just have videos that provide value, send them over to them. Some of the best prospects that we get on sales call with that pretty much just hand us their credit card are people that have watched that VSL, and then we then showed them where the student testimonial interviews are in our free Discord, and they've watched like all 17 of them because they just binged them. Those type of prospects show up to the call knowing it's going to be expensive. They know that you're going to sell them on something, and they pretty much just hand you their credit card because they have so much trust in you. They believe that you are the best person for the job, and they have full trust that they are going to be a great fit for the program. So VSL, student testimonials, and even from there, like if you notice any potential objections that are going to come up on the call before you actually get on the call, I'll give you an example. I had a guy that we booked in that came from another program where he had a very bad taste in his mouth from it. Now, instead of me waiting to get on the call with that person and deal with that then, I was like, hey, before we get on this call, I had someone in our program that came from that program that also had a bad taste but did great in our program. I had them get in touch, and the person that was going to have those objections then came to the call with pretty much zero objections, was like, hey, like I talked to one of your current students, like this sounds a lot better. They ended up closing in full. So stuff like that, you want to get rid of almost all. I'd argue that this pre-call process is more important than you actually being a good salesman on the setting call. So that is super important. And I'm not saying don't take the sales call if you don't have them complete this full pre-call process, but it's going to be harder. And you, especially on cold traffic, like it might be a 2-call close. You might have to handle a ton of objections. You might have a bad prospect, whatever it may be. And that's the thing. A lot of people think a pre-call process is just sending out some emails before the call, checking in with them over text. But if you get them all these assets and you're checking in with them day to day and you're emailing them, and you're doing all this stuff, that can help you so much. And I promise you, it will have way more prospects just come with their credit card ready on sales calls. And the last and final thing, and this is a more simpler thing, I know the pre-call process was pretty complex and in-depth. It's simply just to have different pricing points on your offers and have like financing or payment plans or whatever it may be. Because you got to think, the program that I'm talking about here is a $2,000 to $3,000 program. So it's nothing like crazy. But some of you guys watching this might be selling like a $5,000 ticket, $10,000 ticket. And a person who is coming to you like completely cold, even if you do a great job on the pre-call process and all that, they might not be ready to pour that much money into you up front, right? So having downsells, having financing options, having payment plans, all of that is important. Now, obviously, you don't want to just resort to this right away, but if you're fully just relying on one offer, like a 5K ticket, no downsells, no financing, just 5K paid in full or maybe split up into two, you're going to collect less cash because these people aren't going to be fully bought in to actually do that right away. But if you have, a $1,000 downsell and then maybe they can upgrade to the 5K, or if you have something like, Klarna or Afterpay and they can make this 5K into 6 months or 12 months, stuff like that is really going to help. And it doesn't really make, a lot of people think like these type of people are going to be horrible customers, but it really doesn't, because you got to think of it from their perspective. Like they just saw your content like a couple days ago. So those are the main 3 things. And I promise you, if you apply those 3 things to your offer, to your closing process, whatever it may be, you will 1000% boost your close rate on cold traffic, people coming from ads. So if you took any value from this and you're actually going to try out these 3 things or implement them into your business, please subscribe to this channel, leave a like on the video. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. And if you are someone that sells something online like this or looking to get into it and need some help, I have a booking link in my description. This can be if you're a coach looking to get help, or if you're someone that is trying to work more behind the scenes on the back end like myself. I can kind of figure out who you are and if it's something that I could potentially help you with, and then we can go from there. And then I also will link my Instagram where you can ask me any questions, through the DMs. So I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and peace.